And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a game recap episode of Darian Talks UTSA. UTSA defeats Kennesaw State yesterday, 28-16. There's a lot to unpack from the game overall. Before I get into the questions, I'm going to I literally just got through watching the game. I went back because I was there at the Dome. I wanted to see what you guys seen on television. And I just wanted to watch it back for myself and actually take some notes and kind of compare them with what I took from the game in person versus what I seen on ESPN's feed. And I got quite a bit of notes. So I want to sort of go through some of those first. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can today. I don't know if I'll go to the full hour. I'll let you guys dictate that based on the questions we have. Obviously, if you have any questions that you want priority, you can always leave a super chat. I'll definitely make sure to prioritize those, and then obviously I'm going to prioritize things for my members. But without further ado, I'm going to jump into what I seen overall. So I'll give you my overall take in general. I think that UTSA just could have been better. They just could have been better. I think we've seen flashes of what we could be, but I think that it was disappointing considering the fact that Kennesaw State's a team that listen, they came out, they did, I thought defensively they played relatively well, but I think we made them look better than what they were. I see people talking about on Twitter that, hey, and I know Coach Traylor's had some comments about like, yeah, they're going to be better than what people think they are. And I don't buy that, to be honest. I watched the same game. We were a lot better than that team. Simple as that. We were a lot better than that team, 100%. And I'm not going to, like I said, and this is no disrespect to Kennesaw State, but we should have hung 45 points on them yesterday. 100%. 100%. Based on the talent that we had, we should have put forth a way better performance than what we did. So that part was disappointing overall. I think defensively we did some things well. We got to clean up some things also. I think from a cornerback position, I think that was one of our weaker positions. To be completely honest, on the defensive side of the ball yesterday. I just think that those guys got to tackle better. If you look, I think one of the plays got called back, but one of the other big plays, some of the big long plays they had came from corners not being able to make, tackles in open field, right? A receiver catches a short hitch route and then they're taking it 50 yards. That can't happen, right? Bad angles. There was one play that I have here in my notes where Brevin Randall took a bad angle and let the guy go up the sideline. Our corner gets sealed off, and the guy just right up the sideline. And luckily, he stepped out of bounds, and I think we held him to a field goal. But if you look at our big plays, our corners has something to do with that, So I think our cornerbacks could have been a little bit better yesterday. And I understand that there are a lot of those guys, a lot of guys came in, a lot of guys probably got time that they maybe not be getting time against better teams, but I think we just got to clean things up there. I thought the front seven did well. I think, we were physical defensively. We really imposed our will on them. Listen, we held that team. I need to pull up the stats to have them in front of me, but we held that team overall to 51 rushing yards. And when you hold a team like that, whose motive, what they want to do is run the football, right? That's what they came out there to do. All of the options, the trickery that they had, all of that stuff, they want to run the football. And whenever we go out there and we hold them to 50 yards, that's great. We gave up 202 passing yards, which wasn't great. But I think overall, defensively, I think we did a pretty good job. Just thinking about guys who stood out to me that I seen kind of pop off the screen a little bit defensively. O&P, we had himself a game, I thought. I thought he played really well. I got a shout out to the safeties, man. Ken Robinson, Elliott Davidson, they came in and played well. Jimmy Warwick, he played really well too. I know he didn't get a ton of snaps, but he made his snaps count. That huge, and I mean huge, forced fumble at the end of the day. I mean, think about that. Think about when you look at the timing of Jimmy Warwick's forced fumble in that fourth quarter, Kennesaw State had the momentum. It was taken away from them like that. But think about this. At that time, the score was 16-21. It was 16-21. Kennesaw State was getting the ball in a position to go take the lead, right? Jimmy Ward makes a huge, a great play and shifts the momentum, gets our offense really good field position, and then we go down and score, and that's sort of the game clinching touchdown, if you will, right? But that's what it took against a team like Kennesaw State. That's what it took for us to win. That is what it took. Come on, man. We're better than that. We're better than that. I think that, offensively, my overall take on the offense in general is they just got to be better. So here's the thing. Let me cut my phone ringer off. Here's the thing about us on offense. And folks who've been in programs and play ball, you will understand this. The offensive coordinator is going to start the game with 15 to 20 scripted plays. Those are the plays that they're really, really going to focus on, and they're going to practice on, and they're going to have those nailed down. So that first 15 to 20 plays, whenever you're able to stay on script. And what allows you to stay on script? Successful drives, right? So our first drive, a successful drive, we go down and score. Our second drive, our second drive, success, which was a successful one, we go down and score, right? And I think even the third drive, early in that third quarter or second quarter, same thing, right? We were on script those first few drives, bro. What happens when we get off script? When we got off script, Kennesaw State made some adjustments. We were off script now, so now we're sort of offensive coordinators calling plays live in game. These aren't plays that he's been working on all week, right? This is not his part of his, first 20 play script. So when we got off script, the offense started to sputter. We started to get besides ourselves. The balance in terms of how we were calling plays, we weren't mixing. I mean, think about those first few drives. We were mixing up the run and the pass very well, and we were able to move the ball. And we went away from that in the second half, right? I mean, you can also, honestly, we played a good quarter and a half offensively, right? We played a good quarter and a half. They start shutting us down mid-second quarter. Think about it. We scored that touchdown fairly early in the second quarter. They start shutting us down from here on out. That to me is concerning. And like I said, once we got off scripts, then things start to not look good. And listen, I'm not saying the offensive coordinator is an easy job to do. It's not an easy job to do, but these guys have experience. They have been preparing for this a long time. Burke was the offensive coordinator last year, and he did, he had some questionable play calling even last season, and he brought it this year. I think that and listen, I won't say all of that on him. I'm just looking at my notes. I have it right in front of me. Our offensive line got to do better, bro. Especially run blocking. Run blocking was bad. I would advise you guys, whenever you get a chance, if you get some time today, go back and watch the game and click the play pause button, because that's the only way that you can do freaking slow motion. It's the only way you can do a slow motion view of what's going on. Look at how many times on some of these runs that our linemen just turn somebody loose. I think Coach Traylor talked about in his post-game press conference. He talked about, there's a play where we cut a Mike linebacker loose. There's a play where we cut a Sam linebacker loose. Can't happen. And he's talking about two particular plays, bro. I think that happened a little bit more than two plays from what I saw, right? The thing about it is whenever we even blocked halfway decent, our running backs were able to find some space. But those guys were creating on their own. Kavorian Barnes had a really good run to start the game. It was so good. It was set up so nice by him, because he seen that he had a hole over here, but he set up the linebackers, which helped out our offensive line, by the way. He set up the linebackers and took a step right to get the linebackers to go behind the other lineman, and then he broke out left. Beautiful play by Kavorian, by the way. That just shows you some of his experience and things like that. But he was able to get about a 10-yard gain. I know that's random, but it popped in my head whenever I'm sitting here talking about the linemen. But our offensive line got to be better. Um, and here's what I'll say about McCown. I know there's questions, and I'm gonna do my McCown spiel in the very beginning. I think for the first quarter and a half, McCown was very good, but it was that script. I'm telling you, those plays were scripted, 100%. Um, a couple observations from me. He was late on some throws. I think that'll get better with time and experience, but he was late on some throws. Can't be late against better teams. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And we have the game, and we have the game of our season next week, which is insane. But yeah, he was late on some throws. I thought that listen, I'll start with the good stuff. I think he can throw. I think he's accurate. He's an accurate passer. He has zip on his passes. He's a lot more mobile than I thought, and he didn't like showcase it too much. But he's pretty mobile. He's pretty mobile, and I think that's hugely important to what we need to be able to do. And it's going to give us an opportunity to maintain some of those dynamic qualities that our offenses had over the past years with Frank at quarterback, right? So we're not as strong on some of that. I think once he starts to run more, it's going to open up the RPO really a lot more. I think we ran our RPO very, very good. The RPO that we ran were very good. That's going to be the staple of our offense. That's been the staple of our offense. So those are the things we can do pretty well. I think Owen made some very good decisions. The touchdown to McEwen, that was the RPO as well. He could have gave that to Barnes, but he pulled it whenever he seen McEwen open and hit him in the end zone. Same thing with the play over to Oscar, and things like that. So like I think, and then we also seen him scramble and get him a touchdown as well. So I just think that overall, he's a talent. He's a talented quarterback who is a bit raw, and we just gonna have to be patient with him. He's not gonna be perfect in the beginning. Some of the things that I did not like, obviously he was late on some of the passes. He stares down his receivers, guys, and I'm really really worried about that. Well, I can just tell you, being a defensive guy my whole life, we love quarterbacks that stare down receivers because something's coming your way. He does it. The one time, and I could be wrong, there was one time where I seen him go from his like the play starts, he's staring down his first option. There's one time I seen him go to the second option. He threw a pass. This was in the fourth quarter too. He threw a pass to Overmeyer, the tight end, 89, I believe. On I think it was a 2nd and 10. It was probably like a 15 to 20-yard gain up over the middle. Really nice pass, and it was really good to see him be able to do that. But he's going to have to do a lot more of that earlier in games. He stared down his receivers a lot. Whenever we play some teams with a little bit more talent who are going to play us a little tighter, I'm worried about that. He's also under pressure. He wasn't very good under pressure. I think that part of that is the offensive line's fault, but I just think he held on the ball a little too long in some situations, and he's just not used to it. You can tell it's an experience thing, and I'm not. That's not me suggesting that Eddie Lee would do any better than that. I just think um, in our situation, he's the best guy we got, and I think there's a lot of ability there. He can be a great player for us, but we're just gonna have to be patient. So I understand when Coach Traylor says like, "Hey guys, we're just gonna have to be patient," because we are. He's gonna have some growing pains against some of these bigger schools. I hope those growing pains don't come next week. I can tell you this: our guys up front on the defense are some bad boys. Braylon Brown, he's a bad man. I'm gonna tell you something right now. He's a bad boy. He is, right. That dude, that dude's something else. That dude is something else. Um, I'll get into some of the questions now. I just wanted to kind of give my spiel up front. See if we have any priority questions. All right, let's see. Okay, we got Aeneas James, homie, he says also we tried so many running backs yesterday. None got it rolling, but I do think we'll find our rotation with running backs and also our style of running game. Yeah, I just think they got to block better. I think we it was good that we tried all the running backs. I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I talked about this before. Um, and we've talked about now, and Aeneas being a speed guy is one of the reasons I've been thinking about this as well, and why I'm finna bring this up. What did I tell y'all in the very beginning whenever we signed this Tomahawk kid that runs a 10-2 in 100? I said I don't care what they do or how they're going to do it, but they got to find a way to get that kid touches. That dude was out there playing football yesterday. He hit that jet sweep and he took that joke of 70, and that holding call was a joke. They robbed him. They completely robbed him of a superstar type of situation. He got 3 other carries, didn't do a lot with it, but yeah, man, he that dude is something else. That dude's gonna be a star at UTSA. That's one thing I can tell off the muscle. Let me get into some of these. Shout out to Mike. Mike was first today. He said, obviously disappointed in the running game. I think we abandoned it way too early. Wonder if that was due to how bad the O-line played. Yeah, I think some of it has something to do with that. Absolutely. And to be honest, they were scheming us pretty well. I think Coach Traylor alluded to that in his post-game press conference as well. They were ready for our running game. They were ready for our running game. I will say that. But you got to think about it. They expected us to come out and run the football because if you look from a skill position standpoint, you'd expect you'd expect us to come out and run the football a lot to relieve and take some of the pressure off of our young quarterback, right? So they were ready for that. And I think those guys, had their ears peeled back, ready to go for the run game. So I think the O-line didn't play well, but I also think that they were just ready for the run game. Mike also says if the O-line plays like that against UT Austin, they're taking Owen off the field in the ambulance. They got to do a better job. Absolutely, man. That was one play our left tackle cut somebody smooth loose. That end got around, that right end on the defensive line got around him so fast. And Owen, I'm glad he didn't get hurt, is what I'll say. But yeah, they turned some guys loose last night. Absolutely. Mr. M, shout out to Mr. M. He says, in your opinion, what are the top 3 things that we need fixed if we want to be considered? Well, first off, the number one thing is whenever we play a team that we're more talented than, we need to beat the crap out of them, bro. We can't be winning, skating by on a 12-point win against Kennesaw State. And to some of the people who are like, well, other big teams struggle to get some of them FCS schools. I don't care. I don't care, and I'm saying that respectfully. Why do I care about other teams right now? I don't care what Oregon did. Excuses are for people who don't finish first. And if we think we have the talent and one of the most talented rosters in the conference, then we should act like it. So some of these excuses they might were a little better than what I thought. They weren't, bro. They weren't. We wasn't as efficient as we thought. I looked at our team and I seen all the talent that we have. I seen it. We went deep at receiver. Devin McEwen is obviously the focal point and will be a superstar. I liked what I seen from DJ Allen. I liked what I seen from Willie McCoy. We got ballers out there. Our running backs. We've seen Robert Henry, Kavorian Barnes, Rocco Griffin, Brandon Hyde, Will Henderson, and Bryson Donnell. Shout out Tyler, Texas. But yes, we've seen all of those guys get touches yesterday. Any of those guys can take it to the house. Any of them. You can already see it. You can already see the talent in the two freshmen we have, right? And then at receiver and tight end, Houston Thomas, Oscar only got two catches for 38 yards. They got to get Oscar the ball, man. He lost that weight to be a pass catcher. He didn't lose that weight to block people more. He lost that weight to be a pass catcher. Yes, he got a touchdown. Yes, he got a good pass over the middle right before right before halftime, I think. But Oscar, come on now. You got to give him the ball. But I say that to say we we got talent. So all some of the excuses that I'm seeing on Twitter, and I'm not gonna call it. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not saying it to call anybody out, but like I don't really care what other teams did and how they struggled. I don't care that Texas State struggled to Lamar. These aren't like, come on, man, come on. But the top three things, yeah. So I didn't even, I haven't got myself riled up on that. So the top three things are: number one, we got to beat teams that we're supposed to beat, and we have to beat them convincingly, which we did not do last night. Number two, our offensive line just has to be better. They have to. They have to gel. They have to have a bit more cohesion. And we have to have consistent play from our secondary because they're going to get challenged. Our front seven is solid. Our skill positions are solid. Offensive line has to do better. Secondary has to do better, and we got to impose our will on people. We got to put foots on necks. And we cannot give up so many penalties, boneheaded penalties. Listen, I liked what I seen from Kendrick Blackshire yesterday, but that penalty was, what was he thinking on the sideline? Come on, man. Like some of the penalties that we got were just uncharacteristic, and we won't win games like that. What was our penalty yardage? What was it? 109 yards, 10 penalties. Come on, bro. We had more penalties than Kennesaw State at the Dome. Come on, man. It's a literally more than a football field. I mean, it is literally a football field amount of penalties. Come on, man. Got to do better. Robert Ruiz says, thoughts on the O-line. I will say I saw Devin Harris come from the other side where defense is set up on to yell something at Owen at the end of the third quarter. I sit front row of the. He's probably being supportive, I'm assuming. But yeah, I've talked a lot about the O line, so I'm not gonna keep going in on them. But they were poor yesterday, in my opinion. Homie, he says, how do you feel about not being able to throw for more than 7 air yards? Do you think that's just the scheme with Owen, or do you like it? Or should we see a change since we know ELM can sling it? So I don't think we should see a change at quarterback. I think Owen, for what they wanted to do with him, I think he executed relatively well, but he's a young quarterback who does not have a boatload of experience. And, he's being asked to come in and lead this team, and he's been in apparently a position battle for a while, right? So he's going to try to play it. He's going to play it safe to the extent that he can. We got to throw the ball downfield though a lot more. We have to. I think we completed one deep ball to William McCoy, who made a nice adjustment. Wasn't a great thrown ball. It was inside and it was a little short. But we got to do that. We got to do more of that. We play teams like, Texas State's going to listen. Texas State is going to blitz us. You guys watch them play Lamar. They're going to blitz us. They're going to be in our face, and they're going to trust their guys to guard our guys. Now, they probably can't guard our guys, but like they're going to take some things away. They're going to look at that film tomorrow, and they're going to know he stares receivers down. So guess what they're going to do? They're gonna scheme up to where they're going to blitz to that side and force him the other way. Right? They're going to disguise coverage very, very late and force him to hit his second option. So there's just a lot of questions that are going to be answered, and we're going to have to be prepared for that. But we can't dink and dump our way to win football games like that. I love the RPO stuff that we do. It's the staple of our offense. So I think a lot of that is planned, and that's what Traylor wants to do. But we have to take shots downfield, and Traylor also alluded to that in his post game press conference as well. Hector says a few points. Being a small market team gets our coordinators poached frequently. Offense usually takes longer to gel, and UTSA has to play penalty-free football, and Kennesaw was well coached. So, small market team gets our coordinators poached frequently. Yes, but what coordinator are they going to? They're not going to poach our offensive coordinator. Nobody's poaching him. Not right now, at least. Not happening. He hasn't called plays good enough for that yet. Um, yeah, I do know it takes a little longer for the offense to gel, especially when you're ushering in a new quarterback. That's why I don't really want to entertain the like, should we go ahead and switch quarterbacks already? Owen did not play a bad game. He played all right. If I had to grade him specifically, I would give him a B minus probably. Um, I think, I mean, you could even give, I'll give him a flat B. I mean, at the end of the day, his stat line looks great. I just think that for if we want to like how do I look at that performance and project it toward better competition that we're gonna face? Yeah, there's room for improvement, for sure, but he'll be fine, hopefully. UTSA, yeah, penalty free. Kennesaw was, yeah, they were well coached, but we were better than them. We should have still blew them out. Eric says, I personally think Owen played well. I felt the play calling after the game script didn't do him any favors. We went away from the run and called screens, and the O line was terrible. Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think he played. I think he played. He was serviceable enough. And for someone coming in and getting handed the keys of the offense, I think he did okay. I think he did fine with that. I think he is not the person that I'm like. I think he was fine. It's just he's young. We're gonna have to be, or he's relatively inexperienced and he's new. Um, not new in the sense of like, oh, he just got to the program. But when I say new, it's like he's newly been given the keys to the team, right? Coach has been stringing them along on this position battle for a long time, and now he finally got the keys. There's just a process, right? There's going to be growing pains. But to me, it's the play calling, the person calling the plays. You gotta, you gotta, you gotta account for some of this stuff, man. You gotta also be realistic with yourself and understand where a player is. Have to understand where a player is at this particular point in time and play call based on that. Ivan says, I knew the Army option scheme would mess with us. Yes, we won because we're physically better than Kennesaw. But what does this mean moving forward? It looks like Army might have a field day again. So we don't. So here's the thing: by the time we play Army, we would have figured out what our team is going to be about, and our team would have their identity and stuff like that. So like, I'm not going to jump any gun on Army. We don't play them to the last game of the year. But I think defensively we were fine. Like we were fine. We were fine. I don't. Yes, if can I go down on the defense or who pause? Can I go like can I go and analyze the defense and say they could have done things better? Absolutely, but like I'm not that worried about them. I thought they played well. I thought they were physical. I mean, we got to do a little bit better at corner, but I mean, we did great against. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Back to your comment though, Ivan. Like we held them to 50 yards rushing. Now, someone could say, "Hey, you know what? That one game when we play Army, we held them that low. They didn't rush well, but they threw the ball all over the yard against us. That's fair. That's a fair point. But it goes back to my point. Like I feel like I did see the talent that we have at the cornerback position. I just don't feel like they had their best game. And I think they'll clean it up. We got too much. We got too much talent not to. Eric says, I've said this in the chat. I hate that we have to lean on the fact that Texas State struggled, that we have a chance next week instead of saying we had a great performance. Like, here's the thing. And this is why I was so excited for this game. And I was trying to tell folks, like, this Kennesaw State game is just as exciting or intriguing as the Texas State game because now we get to see what, life after Frank Harris is, right? We get to see what that looks like. And what it looks like to me is we're going to be a defensive team. We're going to be our offense is going to be a lot more simple than what it has been. And we got to find a way to make that work. I personally think we just got to do a better job of isolating a receiver and just throwing it deep and letting our athlete out athlete the opposing corner. Like where is that at? So yeah, I'm not worried about that with Texas State. I haven't watched. I caught the tail end of the Texas State game yesterday. Not a great look for them. either. I'm gonna go back and watch that game under a fine tooth comb before I do the preview on Wednesday. Um, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Yeah, am I a little more worried than I was before? Yes, but I'm also looking at Texas State like, yeah, y'all had that hype, but you guys got smacked in the mouth too. And I think we're coming into this game with Texas State as even as it's ever been, as easy as even as it's ever been. But I think our defense will be ultimately. I think our defense will be the side that tips the scales. Personally, Jared says, I want to know what percentage of offensive plays were screen passes. Also, there seems to be a slipping issue among our receivers. Not sure what that was about. Could have just been the turf, something like that. Sometimes it's not great, to be honest. I don't know, but a lot of it was RPO. He had an option, so it was just based on his read. So, like, they were just taking the run option away a lot of the time and forcing us to pass it. So, yeah. Shout out to Peter Wells here. I'm excited. I'm excited as well, my friend. Anthony, shout out to Anthony, man. I had a great time. But okay, before I get into some of the other stuff, I did have a great time seeing everybody at the tailgate. That was cool, man. I seen a lot of you guys that are here in the chat at the tailgate yesterday. Anthony was one of them. I had a great time at their tailgate. And yeah, man, it was cool. The chicken. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something now. Go find Anthony's tailgate. Him and Derek. The chicken they had was legit. Me and the wifey went back to the car and told that chicken up. That chicken was good. But yeah, shout out to everybody at the tailgate. Burrs Landing, Anthony, Derek, Birdhouse, Rowdy. No, there's this Rowdy Smoke tailgate. That's Anthony and Derek's tailgate. We were at so many. Oh, Angela. I got to see Angela. She's someone in the chat all the time. She told me she's not gonna be able to make this one live, but we got to spend some time with Angela. They had some great sliders. So yeah, the tailgating was fun yesterday. And of course, shout out to Danny and Yvette. They were fabulous over in C6. Go visit them too. Great people. But Anthony says, do we need to look for other options when it comes to our special teams? Yo, what was going on with our special teams? That's unlike us. Yeah, that was bad, bro. I don't know. We either need to look to other options, or Coach Traylor needs to bring them boys in the room and have a conversation with them. We can't. Come on, man. That's unlike a Coach Traylor team. Like, special teams, we're normally on top of it. They were not great yesterday. Anthony also says, do you think our play calling was basic to keep from having Texas State look? No, I don't think so. I think our play calling looks basic based on the fact that we don't have a quarterback in Frank Harris who had been in the program for years. Like, you've seen our offense, not even last year, but like, think about the year before that. Or you can even just say last year. With a quarterback like that, with that much experience and that much command on the team, and has had that much success, coordinators love that because they can really go deep into their bag, bro. And we just don't have that option right now, right? We don't have the option we don't have the ability to do that. We're gonna just have to master some of the basics and just be really, really efficient with it. So I don't think that we were trying to hide anything. Listen, I can tell you what we probably tried to hide was the fact that we're probably going to pull out 2 or 3 reverse plays against Texas State next week. That was probably the only thing that we hid. If I had said we hid anything, those reverses that I know are going to come eventually. Hector says we definitely need to stretch the field vertically. We allowed them to take the running game. Yeah, we got to stretch the field vertically. I mean, you see it, their safety just started to creep up. And yeah, Lil says, I'm just here for scout notes. Apparently, we're going to need some help. We're going to need all the help that we can get. Is this a Texas State fan or something? I don't know if I know Neil or Lil. Derek says, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is the exact game we needed to have Saturday. We got our butts kicked a little bit, and it's going to get us ready for Texas State next week. I'm not mad at that approach. I think we'll play better next week. We're going to have to, or we're going to get embarrassed. So yeah, I listen. You can just tell by Coach Trailer's tone. Like, I would advise y'all to go and look at. I would advise y'all to go and look at Coach Trailer's um his post game press conference. He didn't look like a coach that just came off a victory. He didn't sound like a coach that just came off a victory. I'll say that. I'll say that. So those guys are going to be working this week. My letter grades for the team: defense gets a B plus, offense gets a C, special teams gets a F, overall performance C minus. Yeah, I'm going to say our overall performance was about a C. Based on what the expectations was. I think the offense, I think defense, I like the, excuse me, I think defensively a B plus sounds about right. Yeah, I can get with the B plus. Offensively, we were probably a C. Yeah, we were probably a C. C plus maybe, because to be no, a C, a C, a C. Let's see. Yeah, it just wasn't great. Yeah, and our special team was a joke. Jamie says lots of good, lots of bad, but hey, it's barely the first game of a new era. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was definitely not a good first impression. I hope they fix the penalties on defense. Shout out to my cousin Cyrus, number 13, cornerback for UTSA. Shout out to Cyrus. How is that pronounced? Dumas or Dumas? 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 I have the media stuff where they have everybody's name and how we're supposed to pronounce it, but I don't have it in front of me right now. OMP, we balled out, bro. He balled out. He balled out. Absolutely. Absolutely. Barnes is a 3 down. No, Barnes is 3 running back, maybe 4th at this point. Really? So you don't like what Barnes was doing? Listen, to be fair, bro, he wasn't getting any blocking. But also, I can't even be mad at you. He can't keep fumbling like this. What is that? What is that? And listen, I'll tell you this. He heard all of the stuff about his like weight. What's the name? He's lean. He's in shape. He looked like he has that explosive burst again. But bro, he gotta stop fumbling. We can't have that. And that's probably why you're seeing Coach give all the running backs a shot, because he's just like, all right, well, somebody else is going to have to play, because we can't keep turning the ball over like that. Is Robert Henry the best running back we have? Probably. Objectively, probably is. Although I think Robert has gotten he put a little beef on too, to be fair. I'm not saying it's bad, but he definitely put a little beef on him for sure. What do we got here? He says Barnes needs to hold on to the ball. Absolutely. Okay, there's a lot of folks responding to that. You think Barnes was okay? Let's see. Notice the money backer, Danye Taylor, was out for the game. Wonder if it's serious. He's a single digit dude. I hope it's not serious, man. He brings a lot of energy to the team, and he's a big time player. I hope it's not anything serious. A lot of folks are coming out the Barnes. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna he didn't have much run room, and listen, I can't even get to the play, like his actual play, because he fumbled. So the fumbles are bad. As a running back, you could be great, but if you could consistently fumble the football, they can't play you, bro. They can't play you, because you're putting the team and you're putting games in jeopardy. So, and the timing of it was not great either. Play calling was very bad. After the first half, absolutely. Do you think Owen got rattled? Absolutely, 100%. Do I think the quarterback got rattled? 100%. And it's not a big deal, because he's, like I said, he's inexperienced. He's gonna build his composure with time. He is. But I also don't think his offensive coordinator helped him out. I just don't. I don't think his offensive coordinator helped him out very much. Because listen, in my opinion, you kind of got to go in and understand what your guy is not good at, and don't put him in positions to where he's going to look bad. Basically, like can't happen. But yeah, he definitely got rattled, 100%. Carpenter is a dangerous returner, but bro, the man makes some bonehead mistakes sometimes. Dude caught the ball at the 2 to 3 yard line after the. Yeah, I know that was crazy. I don't know what that was about. I was confused too. I was confused too. I was confused about that. He's a good player, good returner. He'll be fine. Our O line was horrendous. There was a play where we doubled someone and somehow he got through and pressure on for a sack. Yeah, I know what play you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what's up with our O line, bro. Like I had really high hopes for him. Hopefully, it was just a bad game. But I think we talked about it coming into the game. There was talk about like, what is it going to look like with them building continuity and being in that whole situation and yeah, we seen it. They weren't a together unit yesterday, and there was confusion. They were looking at each other sometimes. They were cutting people loose. All they really did not block the run well. Um, yeah, they just got to be better. Will Henderson. I'm assuming this is Tomahawk's dad. Yeah, your son got some wheels, bro. Your son got wheels. Like I said before the season, they got when somebody's that fast, you gotta find a way to get a seam. It literally played out just like that. I was literally talking about this before. I said, hey, with a dude that fast, you got to get him a jet sweep because all he needs is a seam and it's house call. And what happened? They got that boy a seam house call. I'm telling you something right now. All right. I don't care what they do with the running back situation. Coach Traylor, offensive coordinator Burke, you got to get that boy the ball in some creative way just so he can get a seam. That's it. Like you're the most, the play, put your best blockers in and get that dude a seam. And, he's gonna score touchdowns. But yeah, your son got wheels, man. Or your kinfolk. I'm assuming it's your son, but yeah, he got wheels. Anthony says, McEwen, bro, that man is fire. Man's a serious talent. Wish for some deep connections, but that could be by design. Yeah, it was absolutely by design. He's our star boy now. He's the offensive guy. I mean, think about it. Think about what we did on a 4th and 1. There was a 4th and 1, and they drew up a play to pass it to throw it to McEwen down by the goal line. Remember that? That was in what was it, like the second drive or like the second drive of the game, 4th and 1. It said, "No, we're getting the ball to who is our looked at as our best player and our leader on offense from a skill position standpoint." Anthony says, "If Owen has time to throw, he's reading really well." I'm not. So the reading thing is it's hard for me to say that because he's staring down his first option, and 95% of the time yesterday he went to his first option. Didn't even have a look at his second. So yes, I'll just leave it there. He's just got to develop. He needs time. Jake says lots of screen and RPOs yesterday seemed like they tried to get him in rhythm. Only a few deep shots. Got to do more deep shots. They definitely tried to get him in rhythm. But RPOs is a staple in a trailer offense, and we're always going to see those. So, yeah. Oscar looking like a different player, leaned out and better speed too. That's why they got to get him the football in the passing game. Like I said earlier in the show, Oscar didn't drop weight to block better. He dropped weight to be more involved as a pass catching tight end. Use him. He's your most experienced guy on that team and on that offense. Use him. Point out how Barnes is a moral killer with the consistent fumbles like an Army. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's always going to do that. It's always going to be that. Also feel like we're missing a big body receiver. Thought Sparkman could be the guy until JT gets back. Yeah, I was a little confused. Yeah, he didn't get many looks. I don't think he caught a pass yesterday, did he? Yeah, he didn't catch. Yeah, I listen, from the spring game, I thought he was going to be heavily involved. He was out there, but they didn't draw up anything for him. Anthony says we're still missing Amador and JT, two great blockers on the outside. Yep. But who knows when they're coming back? Hopefully it's soon. Hopefully Amador is just out week 1. JT's probably not coming back until conference or something like that. So give Pee Wee more snaps. Yeah, that dude, he's fun to watch. I like that 88 guy. I don't know if he's a tight end or a receiver. That man looks like a unit. Yeah, no, he's a tight end. That's Hunter. Or I'm sorry, not Hunter. Houston Thomas. Good player. Really good player. I like him. 2-0 Danny. Yeah, man. Danny showed love yesterday. Shout out to Danny. Just shout out to Danny, man. Him and Yvette were great hosts at their tailgate. We sat down, ate some hot dogs. They gave us all the hydration stuff we needed, water, liquid IV, everything. Shout out to Danny and Yvette. Yeah, Manchester United is getting killed, by the way. Liverpool. I don't know if anybody here follows the Premier League, but my goodness, it's 3-0. I'm a United fan, so pray for me. Anyway, oh wait, I didn't even read his comment. He says it would be dope if you could break down game film on your pod using game footage. Loving this post game react both here and last night on Twitter Space. Yeah, the Twitter Space, I was itching to talk. I needed somebody to talk to. So that was kind of like if you guys like those, I'll start doing more of them. Man, we got a lot of comments. I'll start doing more of them if you guys if you guys like those. But yeah, I was kind of upset yesterday. I will try. I'm going to break down. I'm going to do some film breakdown, but I'll probably do more like in depth for members. Yeah, because I'm going to probably point out things on specific players, and because I'm kind of close to the school and like, parents and family members and stuff like that, I don't want people to feel like I'm personally calling people out. So like whenever it's just tricky for me to do those. So like typically I will do the positive plays and how we did positive things, but there's a lot of negative stuff like from this game that I want to call out, and I don't want anybody to feel like I'm targeting a particular player or stuff like that. I got to figure out how I'm going to do those, because I think that being critical and stuff like that, it's great education for folks who may not understand football. Or not, like, let me rephrase that, who may want to hear from a former player's perspective what should have been done, what the best practices are in some of these situations. So that's what it's for. I might do some of those things, and I don't know. I gotta find a good way to package it, basically. Jabari says you got to give Kennesaw State credit. They are a decent G5 team. Maybe they came out there and they did what they had to do. They made it tough on us, but we still should have blew them out. But shout out to Kennesaw State. They came in and put in the shift. Elijah says penalties. Listen, yes, just boneheaded stuff. We cannot do stuff like that. G-Man says, I think Tomahawk put everyone on notice after that play. He's definitely like I said, he put everybody. You know what's funny about that? I didn't even realize it was him. I said, I remember yelling whenever he was running, and I was like, who is that? And I said, you know what? I know exactly who that is. Like, they don't even have to, like, I couldn't tell who it was at the game until I think the announcer said his name when he hit the end zone or something like that before they called it back. But I just knew who it was. I was like, that dude you don't run that fast in pads, bro. That's like, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Pops, what's going on? He says, I also feel like there should have been some defensive adjustments as well as offensive additions. UTSA should have performed better against this team, but all teams' talent have gotten better. Yeah, I think defensively, I think we could have done some things. Like, one of the adjustments that I definitely think we should have made is tighten up the corners a bit. There was a 3rd and 4 early in the game. They didn't get it, but our corner was playing a man 9 yards off when they needed 4 yards. Of course, they ran a quick out. Quarterback just wasn't accurate. And I'm just like, why are we doing that? We did that on multiple occasions, by the way. Our alignment was just off. But I get how it can be because whenever you're on a practice field, like it's a lot more defined and like the line of scrimmage is a lot more defined too. And sometimes, especially these cheeky receivers nowadays, because they want to play with the corner's alignment. So they'll like point at the referee and say, "Am I good?" As like being, like if a receiver's on the line versus off, whenever they'll point at the ref and say, "Am I on the line?" But they'll really be off, about a half a yard, and it screws up like the corners. Like if a corner's trying to press and they do that, well now there's like a this weird yard space and you're trying to press somebody and it's just not the same technique as you would have it in practice. I think it was screwing up some of our corners a little bit, to be completely honest, and how they were like lining up against them because they were lined up at 9 or 10 quite a few times. And I don't know any, uh, maybe there's some new technique that I don't know about, but we don't typically see corners on a 3rd and 4 play man from 10 yards off. It doesn't make sense. Is Barnes fumble bug still a concern of yours? He runs hard, but the fumble was his. Yeah, bro, they're gonna take carries from him. That running back room is too good for you to be fumbling like that. Respect to him, he's a really good player, but the fumbling issue is going to not. Um, I keep saying, yeah. So Kennesaw State is an FBS team. I see this comment, and it just, yeah. I don't know why I'm acting like they're FCS. They're basically FCS. Anyway, I'm sorry. I seen that, but yeah, the fumbling is gonna take carries from him, 100%. There's a lot of comments, and it's gonna be tough to get through these in the next 8 minutes. But I'm gonna do my best to try to skim through some of them. If I've already covered the topic, I'm gonna skip it so I can get through. Trey Moore getting a sack on Owen is going to hurt my soul. Listen, if is he lining up on the right side or the left or probably everywhere, he's probably going to get one. Unfortunately, let's see. Hope to see JT Clark. I hope so as well. Kennesaw State was not good, guys. We should have been. Thank you. Shout out to Jake. They were not good. Kennesaw State is better than we thought, bro. No. I mean, listen. Shout out to Kennesaw State for doing their thing, but no, they're not. I mean, listen, they were probably better than what we thought, but what does that mean? They're on UTSA's level? No. You can't watch that game and tell me they were on UTSA's level. I don't care if they were better than what we thought. We were better than them. We were more than 12. We should have been more than 12 points better than them. So they can be better than what we thought. That doesn't mean, I mean, and this is not me coming at you or anything like that, but it's just the reality. I don't care if they were better than what we thought. We should have beat them. We should have had a better performance. Simple. It's very, very simple. We should have had a better performance. Do you believe the small talk that UTSA and Texas State did pull the foot off the pedal to not show everything? No, it's too early in the season for that because teams are searching for what their identity is going to be this year. Texas State ain't hiding nothing, and UTSA ain't hiding nothing. Ain't nothing to hide. Like I said, we probably hid the reverse plays or something. But other than that, like, no, there's nothing to hide this early because you're trying to figure things out. But I mean, UTSA or Texas State pulled their quarterback, Mr. McLeod, who was he, the player of the year in the conference he was before coming to Texas State. They pulled him at one point in the game. Right? Like both of these teams, UTSA and Texas State, are just trying to figure things out. That's what it is. They're trying to figure it out. Robert Henry needs more snaps than Kavorian. I agree. Stop making excuses for Barnes then. Man is third, fourth, being a fumble prompt. I think this is just, I hope this isn't to me because I'm definitely not making excuses for Barnes. Second half had no flow penalties, referee reviews. It was tough. Let's go 6-0 versus Texas State all time. I hope so. And yes, second half was pitiful. Jabari says we looked at KSU last year record and did not take into account that they redshirt had 75% of their team. Yeah, but they still shouldn't have been Still shouldn't have been in this situation. Shire's a dog. Yeah. Yeah. Blackshire was tripping. He's a physical guy though. I liked what he brought to the table. I liked our linebacking core. I liked what they brought to the table. Um I liked our linebacking core to be real. What did you see from Denver Harris? Um he didn't get the show. He has good instincts. I could see that from off the jump. He has good instincts. Um he's also willing to be physical because he almost, I mean, the hit he laid on old dude that hurt his shoulder was crazy. But he did get let one of the receivers get away a little bit because he was off of a hitch route, but Ken Robinson came and cleaned it up. But he has really good instincts so far. I can see why he has the hype and the stuff around him. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. Was rooting for ELM, but it's obvious Owen is the best choice right now from both a development and a winning standpoint. I mean, listen, if they think, I mean, listen, at this point, I'm behind Owen now. I didn't see anything from him that would make me say that was the wrong choice. So it's just going to take time. It's going to take time. Louise says, "Can we get some talk on the extra point miss from Allen during warm-ups? We had another kicker nailing kicks from the logo. Yeah, yeah, we can't have that. That's just the fact of the matter, or that's just the reality. We can't have situations like that, man. We can't be leaving points on the board. And yeah, I mean, trust me, Coach Traylor didn't like that as well. And if that's a thing that's going to be relatively consistent, the other guy you've seen in warm-ups is going to be kicking the balls for us." Elijah says, "I don't think there were any extra points missed, but he did miss 2 field goals." Yeah, I thought it was 2 field goals, but I could be wrong. Texas State got smacked by FCS team. KSU was an FBS team. My man Jabari is going hard for KSU. Let's see. Angela made it. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Anthony. Glad to have you at the tailgate, buddy. Great to see you guys. Yeah, shout out Rowdy Smoke Tailgate, man. Had a blast. Amazing hospitality. What does the practice look like after the amount of? Oh, they're gonna run probably. They're definitely gonna run. They're gonna run for all those penalties. There'll be some sort of punishment for those. It can't happen. Not that many. Yeah, they're gonna do some additional cardio is what they'll call it. Some additional cardio, and there will be people yelling, lots of screams in the film room. I wish I was a fly on the wall in the locker room after that game. Yeah, me too. I just know it was flat in there. Did the fact ELM and Owen were splitting first team reps all spring and summer stunt our QB development? That's a good point, Joseph. That's a really good point. It could have. It could have. Could this be why we didn't open the playbook as much? It could be, but I think we can't open the playbook as much because I think he's gonna, even if it was ELM or even if he had, like, you're gonna have to be gradual with that because you got to see what you're working with. And like you can see one thing in practice, and then get in the game and it's a totally different thing, right? So you have to you just have to, like, the playbook will open up eventually, but I think Traylor wanted to definitely put out there that that we could run like our base stuff, which is the RPO stuff, handoffs, right? But like, you know, we'll probably get, like, come, I would say come conference time, we'll see more. See, because of penalties, go get the Kennesaw State punter in the portal. Hey, yo, that dude was booting them things, man, for sure. Yeah, yeah. People are celebrating their punter. Yeah, they had a good punter, bro. 100%. Hector says the Twitter chat was good. Yeah, yeah. The Twitter chat, man, that got a lot of views. It got like 1,000 something views. That was pretty cool. I don't typically do those, but I had to yesterday. I was upset a little bit. Another person saying Oscar needs more looks. I agree. Says agree. UTSA was playing with their food the entire second half. Our O line outweighed their D line by a wide margin, and we couldn't run the ball. No excuse for that. You know what? I don't. They weren't even. They weren't. They were not making the. They were not. They were just missing assignments, bro. That was the main thing. They were missing assignments. Not to you, to all the UTSA fans. Okay, yeah. I figured it could have been to me too, though. Braven Randall, man, that guy can. He played well. Ken Robinson was real, dude. Our safeties. Have I not highlighted our safeties? I probably did, but I want to just shout them out again. I thought Ken Robinson was really good. I thought Elliot Davidson was really good, and Jimmy Ward was also really good. We got some talented safeties. I was really impressed with what they showed out there, 100%. And the fact that we got some years with Jimmy Ward. That dude's he's a player, bro. He's a player. A great kid. When I was at the luncheon, I sat with him, and got to talk to him a little bit and learn a little bit about him, and had some conversation with him. Really good kid. Really good kid. Kevin Lee says, "Are you coming over for the Houston Christian game?" I won't be at that one. I won't be at that one. The next game I will be at will be, I think, the following home game, which is, jeez, wow, we going a little. Yeah, I'll be at FAU. Yeah, I'll be at FAU next. Yep, I'll be there. All right, last couple. We all just need to remember we need patience with this new squad. Absolutely. I think, honestly, this is a good one to end off of. We do need patience with this squad. There's a lot that they have to do better. There's a lot, offensively, it's going to take some time. And I don't know if that means we're going to look like a well-oiled machine next week against Texas State. But I'm going to lean on our defense. I think our defense will, because Texas State struggled offensively as well, and I think defensively, they don't have that far to go, in my opinion. Defensively, I think we can do some things there that's going to make the game interesting, and I think can give us a really, really big advantage and could pull our offense through. So I think I'll end on that one. We got to have patience. We still got the dub. UTSA is 1-0, which is a great thing. But the good thing about these is these lessons, you get some of these lessons, man, and a lot of the times you learn them in a loss. Well, we're learning this one in a win, right? And you want to learn some of these things in a win, and that's that I think is important here. So anyway, make sure you guys too. We'll be live Wednesday, 6 p.m. same time. We're gonna be previewing the Texas State game. I think I'll be on some Texas State guys. Asked me to come on one of their shows, so I'll get you guys the link on the Twitter for one of those. Also, it will be great to get some new members to join. I'm gonna put the links at the description of this video after I'm done with this. But yeah, I really, really appreciate you guys tuning in on a Sunday morning. I know it's not an optimal time, but hey, man, I had to pick sometime. So anyway, I got fantasy football drafts to get ready for. I got a draft today and 2 tomorrow. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. Y'all enjoy your long weekend. Peace.